Kuala Krai District. Kuala Krai District is a district jajahan in Kelantan, Malaysia. Historically, it was known as Kuala Lebir. Background: the district is a landlocked district in the center of the state of Kelantan in the northeast of Malaysia. The land is hilly, and before the 20th century the entire area was tropical rainforest. The territory contains the confluence of two major rivers, the Lebir and Galas, to form the Kelantan River, which then flows some 70 km northwards through one of the most densely populated floodplains on the Malay Peninsula to its estuary in the South China Sea near the state capital of Kota Baru. Kuala Krai is the most affected district in Kelantan during massive 2014 flood, which known as Bah Kuning, that caused property losses and alarmed federal government. This catastrophic event was cushioned by great societal support and involvement of NGO aid. As transport links improved during the 20th century, people moved into the area to take advantage of the abundant land available for farming. A railway was constructed in the 1920s through the undeveloped interior of Malaysia to link Kelantan state with the main centers of population on the west coast. This line ran through Kuala Krai territory, and settlements became established along its route. Road links followed, and towns and villages grew to cater for the mainly agricultural population. Rubber production was increasingly important throughout Malaysia, and many rubber tree plantations were set up in this area. Later, the country-wide shift to oil palm in the 1970s and 1980s saw the establishment of oil palm plantations in the territory, some of which replaced rubber. Kuala Krai was originally part of Ulu Kelantan until it was split out following a redelineation in 1974. Kuala Krai formally gained its own district and municipal administration in 1977. Infrastructure developed to support the population, and by the end of the 20th century Kuala Krai town had become a busy, thriving town and the administrative center for the territory. Demographics: Kuala Krai District has an area of 2329 km2 and comprises three subdistricts: Dera, A2 Menkibang, Kuala Krai town 726.9 km2 with 122 villages, Dabong 844.5 km2 with 27 villages, Olak Juram Mainik Yuri 757.6 km2 with 67 villages. Some of the better-known towns and villages in the territory include Dabong, Kemubu, Mainik Yuri, Kampung Pahai, Kampung Puria, and Kampung Lalo. Secondary schools. The secondary schools in the territory are Mahad Ramenaya Padang Sembilan SMU Ramenaya, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Sakala Meneng Kebangsaan Dabong SMK Dabong, 18,200 Dabong, Sakala Meneng Kebangsaan Kuro SMK Kuro, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Ozand Kuala Krai, Ala Krai, Kuala Krai, Kuala Krai, Krai. Sakala Meneng Kebangsaan Lalo SMK Lalo, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Akrai, Ala Krai, Akrai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, 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 Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Kuala Krai, Akrai, Krai. Sakala Meneng Kebangsaan Mainik Yuri SMK Mainik Yuri, 18,050 Kuala Krai, 50 Kuala Krai, Ala Krai, Akrai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Kuala Krai, Ala Krai, Kuala Krai, 50 Kuala Krai, Akrai, Ala Krai, Akrai, Kuala Krai. Sakala Meneng Kebangsaan Menkibang SMK Menkibang, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Ozand Kuala Krai, Ozand Kuala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Akrai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Kuala Krai, Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Krai, Ala Krai. Sakala Meneng Kebangsaan Pahai SMK Pahai, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Ala Krai, Akrai, Ala Krai, Kuala Krai, Ozand Kuala Krai, Ala Krai, Akrai, Pond Kuala Krai, Akrai, Alakrai, Kuala Krai, Sakala Mening the Kebingsan Sultanaya Petra 1 SNK Sultanaya Petra 1, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Old Kuala Krai, Ozend Kuala Krai, Ozend Kuala Krai, and Kuala Krai, and Kuala Krai, Akrai, Alakrai, and Kuala Krai, Akrai, Alakrai, Alakrai, Akrai. Sakala Mening the Technic Kuala Krai SM Technic Kuala Krai, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Alakrai, Akrai, Sakala Meninga Kebingsan Kuala Krai SMK Kuala Krai, Sungai Durian 18,000 Kuala Krai, Alakrai, Sakala Meninga Kebingsan Sultanaya Petra 2 SMK Sultanaya Petra 2, 18,000 Kuala Krai, Al Kuala Krai, Uzend Kuala Krai, Al Krai, Akrai, Akrai, Kuala Krai, Alakrai, 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 Ozend Kuala Krai, Ozend Kuala Krai, und Kuala Krai, Maktab Rendesains Mara Kuala Krai asterisk fuse, Sakala Meninga Ugama, Sakala Meninga Kebingsan Bandar Kuala Krai SNKBKK, SNKBKK. Population. The population of Kuala Krai territory was 117,800 in 2009. Ranking population Jajahan Kuala Krai. Population ethnicity. The population and ethnicity of the territory is as follows. Attractions. Taman Tasik Krai, Taman Chintawangsa, Taman Masjid Bandar, Sumini Kuala Krai, Museum Kuala Krai, Tanga Bradley, Jambet and Sultan Ismail, Tembakar Kampung Bambang, Kampung Lemeng Manik Urai, Gunung Stang, Kua Ikin, Air Turjan Jelawang, Lotta Birangin, Lotta Chenulang, Lotta Rek, Lotta Y, Istana Sangkut. Famous people from Kuala Krai. Lo Sikiang, Malaysian professional cyclist. Mi Fong, a commercial photographer, had a studio in Kuala Krai in 1930. Mohd Karl Anwar, also known as Lan Cairo, who is a nurse. He was born in Kuala Krai on Dragon Years 27 May 1988. He has very good personal rapport with international people, as well as a representative of Malays to the worlds. Datuk Rafia Salam is the first female vice-chancellor in Malaysia, posted to University Malaya. T. Wignessen, writer, was born in Kuala Krai in the early 1930s. Tengku Badraya binti El Marham Tengku Ismail, the Raja Perempuan of Perlis, was born in Kuala Krai on 28 March 1925. Her husband, Almarham Tuanku Sid Putra Ibni Almarham Sid Hassan Jamalalail, was elected as the third king of Malaysia, known as Yang di Pertuan Agong from 1960 to 1965. Terence Fernandez, a journalist and current deputy editor, special reports and investigations of the Sun newspaper. He was kidnapped in Iraq in 2003 but survived and currently writes a column in the Sun every Tuesday and Thursday, frequently writing on corruption and mismanagement of funds by politicians. He grew up in Kuala Krai and spent his entire childhood and teenage years there. Zhang Toi, New York fashion designer, was born in Kuala Krai on 11 June 1961. 1961, 1961, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61. Mohammad Sharul Nizam, centre-back for Upnam FC, on 3 September 2019. Federal Parliament and State Assembly seats. List of LMS district representatives in the Federal Parliament, Dewan Rakyat. List of LMS district representatives in the State Legislative Assembly of Kelantan,